I see a small boy standing in a big house. Sun from a tall window warms his back. Before him stands an angry man with silver hair, holding a willow switch. The boy stares into the man's eyes defiantly, folding blood-lined palms behind his back. He is not afraid. He is angry. I see a boy standing in a schoolhouse. A tall, red-faced woman shouts at him, pointing at a chalkboard. At its top are the words, God's creations. Below it are other words, written in varied childish strokes and curves. At the very bottom, someone has written 2 words, Eden's serpent. I see a serious young man clutching a sign emblazoned with 4 words, God loves the sinner. 5 men are trying to pull the signpost from his hands. A fist lashes out from somewhere, knocking the young man down, into a pit of darkness. I see a group of men and women in a rough wooden barn. They're scarred, filthy. Some are drunk. All are angry. A young man in a clean suit is standing in front of them. He begins to speak. Some begin to weep. Others smile. But the anger, it's still there, dark and deep, waiting, useful. I see an old man lying on a bloody wooden floor. A young man stands over him, wearing a dark suit. He holds a thin dagger, like an oversized needle. There is horror in the old man's eyes, and recognition. The stiletto rises and falls 8 times before the work is done. I see an old, brittle book. It is open to a page of strange, angular diagrams. A woman with red hair stands next to a man in a black suit. The preacher. She guides his fingers toward the center of one page. There's a bright flash and the smell of ozone. The man smiles. This is a special day. I see a preacher standing at the front of a large hall, his arms open wide. A banner above him says, "The Children of Eden." 32 men and women are gathered here. Each face beams with pride. Each hand holds a bright blade. Each heart is filled with rage. There is work to be done. I see a preacher leaning over a candle-lit table. A large map is unfurled on its top. Someone has drawn 4 perfect circles on the map, each surrounded by tiny sigils. Spidery lines connect them, forming a strange angular shape. Something about it is unsettling. I wake when the shape begins to writhe. I see a man in a black suit, its collar smeared with crimson. 32 people stand before him. There's adoration in their eyes. Each of them holds a glass filled with a pale, milky liquid. The preacher addresses the crowd and raises his glass. They drink. I am young, maybe 6 or 7. I'm peering through a crack in the cabin door. I can see 5 men standing on the porch outside. One stares at the ground in submission. Father. left cheek. The others are counting dollar bills. Their smiles as wide as the mother pulls me away. She sees my tears and thinks I'm afraid. I'm not. I'm angry. I see an old soldier, the butt of his rifle raised to strike a crumpled form lying on the ground. His expression is one of mad joy, of bloodlust. I yell, beg him to stop, but he laughs and jabs the gun into my face. I fall backward. The gun comes down on the fallen man's face again and again. His body jerks. Once. The gun is still rising and falling when my world turns black. I see a tall man in a suit, standing in front of a crowded room. I feel a swell of pride as he pins something to my chest. A tin star. Something about that symbol resonates. And a single word rises from my mind, bright and pure. Justice. I'm in a large, crowded room. Everyone wears an expression of grim determination. A middle-aged man on the stage is holding up a hand-drawn picture of a man's face. The man recites a list of crimes and gives us a name. Matthias Bauer. I see a woman staring into the flames of a house fire. A blackened corpse swings from a burning beam as the flames dance. I move toward the woman, take her hand in mine, and tell her something. It's more than comfort. It's a promise. There will be justice. I see a table prepared for dinner. The woman opposite stares at her lap. I try to reach for her hand, but she shakes her head. I rise, taking a tin star from the top of a bookshelf, and head for the door. I know I won't see her again. I'm sitting alone in a candle-lit cabin, staring at a cardboard shoebox. On its top are the words, "A gift from the children of Eden." I pause a moment, then I lift the lid. I rise suddenly, knocking over the chair. I stare into the open box. I bought her that ring. I am sitting with 3 men in a candle-lit cabin. A map is stretched out on the table in front of us. I point to 4 positions on the paper's surface. The plan is flawless. But our lips are tight lines, and somehow, I know we won't survive this night. I am standing alone in a copse of trees. A cold moon grins overhead. A man emerges from the dark nearby, a preacher. He speaks, and there is a shot from the darkness. Pain blooms in my leg, and I fall. And the preacher laughs long and hard, as if it's the finest joke he ever heard. First, there is a darkness, then a heartbeat, weak, sickly. Reality coils and unfurls in time with a stumbling rhythm. Corridors, doorways, and dust are shattered, twisted. And somehow I know there is something terribly wrong. This is not how death is supposed to be. And I wake. I see a man in black standing in front of me. A preacher.
전도사를 죽였고
fall from a cold, empty sky. One of my deputies swings from each one.
아, 내 부관들이
Holds two barrels against my face. I say, I'll see you in hell, Bauer. He
아,
answers, I don't think so, Mr. Mason. We've made contingencies. The first shot misfires. Burned powder blasts from the barrel, turning my head into a candle. I don't hear the second shot. I hear only laughter, and the dark rolls in. The preacher laughs, and the darkness rolls in. For a moment, I see four shapes, bright against the black. Three circles surrounding a fourth. The lines of each shape blaze and shimmer, burning into my mind. And I wake.